I was a little kid, always played sports, and then I went to college, got really into bodybuilding because of injuries, and haven't really turned back since, and kind of turned into my career now.
Yeah. And Sam, I'll tell you, I think quick backstory, I met Sam at the RPAC, Ohio State's biggest gym, and you were wearing an old school gym shirt, and I was just like, hey, I know those old school guys. And then we just got to talking. I would talk Sam's ear off, and it's been cool because from back then, I feel like we both evolved so much, learned so much about the right. I guess you can't really say the right way to train, but training that has more proven methods, whether it be from science and a little bit more knowledgeable sources. No offense to anyone, but it's cool to see the transformation in you, Sam. I mean, I'm kind of right there with you. I feel like we're both individuals that are always trying to, seek out higher knowledge for one, ourselves, our own training, and two, for clients. Because would you consider yourself that's your main goal, is to be a trainer? Or what would you say the goals are that you're aspiring to achieve?
Dude, I wouldn't even say trainer. I just want to change lives. So
Yeah.
I want training to be the vector of what my main goal is, which is to just really change the mindset, discipline, and the mental toughness of all my clients. So they can take whatever they have from training with me and apply it to everyday life, and be successful at whatever they want to be successful at.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest goal for me.
Yeah, and I think that's a super common theme that we're finding, especially since I've been doing this podcast. A lot of people have mentioned that fact, and being the one to help enable people and kind of unlock their inhibitions so they can really jump to that next level. That's it takes a lot of skill, time to develop that skill as well. So what is your kind of we were talking about online coaching, and what all does that look like for you right now?
So right now I pretty much work every day. Some days are obviously longer than others, but I have about 20-ish clients or so, 15 with Bryce, and then I have a couple prep clients. I actually just started my first prep client. He's been working with me for about a year now. We decided to start a prep probably 2 months ago, so he's 8 weeks into prep. He's looking really good, so I'm excited about that. So that's pretty much what everything's online. Actually just got my first client over in the UK.
Nice.
Cool. International.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't even know if he's actually British or not, but he said he's in the UK, so
hey, we'll count it.
We'll count it as international.
That's
but,
cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to see just everything kind of grow.
Yeah, definitely. So, just real quick, out of my own curiosity, what exactly is your process of acquiring clients and expanding your own brand of online training?
It's kind of trial and error right now, especially since I've only been really picking up clients since August of last year, so it's still relatively new to me. Right now, I think the biggest thing is word of mouth. Is when my clients tag me in Instagram stories, that helps me a lot, because it's free marketing, and it shows that their workouts sucked, which in a good way.
Yeah, I see that too. They're I hate you.
Yeah, all the time.
It's funny.
Sometimes they'll cuss me out on Google Sheets because that's how we do everything.
Yeah, in the comments.
They'll always get mad.
Yeah.
And then I've been trying to just provide new value on social media. I'll do these, the hip mobility stuff, or shoulder stuff, all that kind of stuff I'm trying to do. So I can attract people, and hopefully they save posts, and once they're oh, this guy's providing me free value, let's see what value he provides me if I pay him.
Right.
So I've been trying to do a lot of that lately, and then just other social media, Twitter, Snapchat, just trying to market on there.
Right.
As best as I can.
Definitely. Yeah, one thing that I really like that you've been doing on social media is the review questions for the CSCS exam.
Oh, yeah. The questions of the day.
Yeah. They're tough too. And I went through multiple physiology classes, and it's a good challenge for me to remember that type of stuff. I'm probably 50-50 at this point. I get some right, I get some wrong.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I'm probably the same way. I know some of those, some of them I don't.
Yeah.
And the reason why I post it is just like it's a study tool for me. It's like flashcard.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's why I do it. And a lot of people like that too. So like I've been getting a lot of really good feedback on it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's always funny. You can tell who completely guesses or not. So like
I always pick C.
Oh, dude, that's what it was the other day. Like everyone picked C. I'm like, there's no way any of you knew this because I had no idea. And like,
you said
like
that.
4 people picked A, like 6 picked B, and like 75 picked C. It's like no way.
That's funny. Awesome. So what's your thought behind like the CSCS? Is it just something that you want to have for you, or do you see yourself using that in the future?
Right now I do want to use it in the future, but who knows when. Like everything's still clouded. Like I have a lot of goals. It's honestly almost a plan B. I want to have it for me because I think it's going to provide more value to my clients as I provide more value to myself. So like I'll learn a ton from that and how to program from studying that, and then I can use that for my clients.
Yeah.
But at the same time, say like online coaching doesn't go through, I have a CSCS to rely on. I can find a job. Relatively easy.
Definitely.
Hopefully, because especially in the CSCS, man, like it's such a new field. Like it was 1969 when the first ever strength coach was actually a thing. So it's still a new field, and so many schools don't have them yet, and so it's just going to progress further in the future. So everyone's going to need one eventually.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think just with, I guess as a quick aside, for those of you who don't know, the CSCS, it stands for Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist, correct? Yeah. So it's kind of like I would say, like for example, I have an ACE, American Council on Exercise trainer certification. This is kind of like the next level up almost. So I would compare it to like maybe like mine is like an associate's degree, and then the CSCS would be like a bachelor's degree.
That's what I tell people. You have to have a bachelor's to become a CSCS.
Yeah. That's
and
right.
Relatively like it has to be like related to the health field too.
Okay.
I believe. I don't know if they actually check that.
Yeah.
Because I think they just check if you have a degree.
Right.
But yeah, another way like I tell people is like it's a nutritionist versus a dietitian.
Yeah, that's
like,
a good.
Anyone can get nutrition certification, but not everyone can be a dietitian.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a good kind of like distinguishing factor for yourself, and it shows that you've taken the extra steps.
Yeah.
And I don't have one now. I think it would be good for me to do that at some point. But like all degrees, you don't have to have one to be successful, but it shows that you are definitely capable.
Yeah. It just shows like what I was told was like you're not gonna kill someone if you have your CSCS. You know how to program. Doesn't mean you're a good coach. Just means that you know stuff and you're not gonna kill someone.
Right. But yeah, like you said earlier, you see a startlingly high amount of like college athletes dying from like heat exhaustion. Like crazy. Their strength coaches try to do these outrageous things, and it ends up in athletes dying. So
yeah, that's why at Ohio State, in particular, you have to have a CSCCA, which is the master's form of a CSCS.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah. If you're not a master strength coach, you can't be a strength coach at Ohio State.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely a elite and prestigious organization, and I'm sure that's how a lot of the upper tier D1 schools do it.
Yep.
Awesome. So what's we talked about a little bit of the background. So like, what's next for you, Sammy?
Moving to San Diego. Honestly, it's like I've lived in Ohio for the last 24 years, so I want something different, and San Diego is basically a leap of faith. I have good faith in it, but it's scary for sure. It's definitely scary. It's a whole different culture, whole different area. But I have a good friend group out there.
Yeah, definitely.
So like I'm definitely going to surround myself with all of them, and they're also online coaches.
Right.
So I think them being way more successful than I am, it's just gonna like kind of help motivate me and elevate me to get to that level.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what's next. Just get as many clients as I can. Keep studying for the CSCS. Ideally, I would like to get a few more like certifications, just so I just kind of know how to coach more, which is like USAW, Olympic lifting.
Yeah.
And then CISSN, which is like sports nutrition.
Yeah.
So
and you can actually give like nutrition advice with that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like that one's obviously not to the same extent as a dietitian.
Yeah.
But being a strength coach and you get some nutrition, it's not a huge extent. I think it would just be really beneficial, especially as a bodybuilding coach. and I do have prep clients, like I can get more in-depth knowledge. So ideally I would like to get that probably in 2021, just because it's not a rush for me. I want to take my time with the CSCS. But yeah, San Diego is next for me, man.
Awesome. And you think just like being in that environment, I think everyone should spend some time outside of like your home state, even if it's just a couple months. Like I moved to New Jersey just about a year ago, and it's probably not as sweet as San Diego, but it's like I'm sure like just the fitness culture is much better there.
It's a whole different world there.
But it's still good to put yourself outside of your comfort zone a little bit, regardless of what you're doing. It doesn't have to be a fitness thing.
Yeah.
So that'll be awesome. I'm excited for you, man, and I'll be keeping up with it.
Yeah, I think everyone should definitely get out of the zone, because like I grew up in a town of 2,000 people, and then I came to Columbus, and now I'm moving to San Diego. So like if you would have asked me 6 years ago, like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, I thought I was gonna be a physician assistant. I don't know. And now I'm moving to San Diego. I would never have guessed that.
Right.
Never. And now I couldn't be more excited. So like stepping out of that comfort zone, you might find something like you'll fall in love with.
Mm-hmm.
So
definitely, man. So flipping it back to the nutrition side that we were just talking about. One thing I saw you post recently is like you're doing like a little cut for the first time. And typically, you like did it with a coach.
Yeah.
So how's that going now that you're managing your own nutrition?
It's going really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little nervous. I'm like, man, I've got nothing, like I've got no end date, so it's like it's gonna be hard to like keep accountable, because like in prep for a bodybuilding show, you have that end date, 6 weeks out, 7 weeks out, whatever it might be. But it's going really well. Just kind of like did my own macros, just kind of like went up in the air. I'm a guy who never really eats that many carbs.
Mm-hmm.
So like right now I have 225 carbs a day,
mm-hmm.
which isn't a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a slow deficit, just a little bit of cardio every day, but it's going really well. Like I didn't plan to do one, but once gyms opened back up, I had a really sweet body recomposition. So I think it's because my cortisol levels just dropped so much. I'm just like, you know what?
When they open?
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
When I got
were you
back
like
in the
stressing
gym,
out or something? Or?
I mean, dude, all I had was a red rubber band for
2
months. So I was just like, I'm going to lose everything eventually.
Oh, man.
I knew I wasn't going to lose my muscle, but it's just like, man, I need a gym.
Yeah.
Getting a routine, like I'm sure you saw, like I was hiking like every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting back in the gym, my cortisol levels just felt so good. Get back to some normality and a good routine that I had a recomp position. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Let's go on a diet. So and it's summer, so might as well. Right. Look good for San Diego. So
there you go. Nice, man. Yeah, it's nutrition is definitely a tricky thing to manage. Luckily my degree at OSU, we had quite a few. Some of them I felt were more useful than others. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna send you some of the slides. We had one that was called like Nutrition for Performance. We got to work with a couple like really cool faculty members with that class that did stuff with the various sports teams. So yeah, I'll have to remind me to send that to you.
Yeah,
it's cool stuff.
Yeah, I gave myself a refeed. Not even a refeed. It was like a little indulgence. I ended up having 2 sour bags of candy. So like 500 carbs worth of sour candy at night.
You're popping.
I woke up, I'm like, I'm going to test my blood sugar level. It was 86.
Oh, yeah?
So my body was like, oh, hell yeah. It was so excited.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that transferred me to the next thing. Dude, I swear, when you're like, I guess it's like when you're bulking, you come up with some delicious ideas. It's just completely irrelevant but funny to me.
I eat so much. I eat so much stuff.
I will never forget Chipotle. You
knew
that was coming.
I do. As soon as I saw the fun creations of food, like bulking, I go to Chipotle every single day. Every single day. Like, they would know my name. And
Dude, back when you were on, like, I guess that was when you were on your PA track when we had micro together.
No, I wasn't even on PA. What was I? I think I was still health sciences. So, I guess I was on PA, but I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, dude, I was like, what's up after this, Sam? You're like, I'm about to go to Chipotle.
Like,
every day. It was hilarious.
I like pre-order it, set the time, right on time every time.
Dude. It's so funny.
Loved it.
Yeah, but I think like obviously you're able to really balance, you know, when the time comes around, you know, like being able to put on more muscle by eating, with like the workouts that you do. You know, seeing you at the gym over the years, I realized you're probably like always the hardest worker in the room in terms of the shit that you put yourself through. I just remember like every day seeing you on that Stairmaster for like, what was it, 45 minutes?
Yeah, dude, it was wild.
Watching all those movies.
Oh man, I think I went through at least 17 like TV series. I probably watched The Office twice during my prep, and then the whole series twice, and then every movie you could think of, like all the Harry Potters and Star Wars. Oh my goodness, the flashbacks,
dude. So yeah, talk a little bit about that, because you know, like I've had times where, you know, I've been like real strict with, you know, my diet, and like I've, you know, had a pretty good physique, but like I feel like your level of grind was just a little different than most everybody's.
Dude, yeah. So my 2018 prep, that was definitely the most shredded I ever got. So at the end of my prep, I got a DEXA scan, and my core was 4.5%.
Yeah.
My legs were like 11, and my arms were about like 9 or so. So I averaged out to be like 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
But I was PO'd. So like that one I suffered for. I did stairs. It was probably over an hour a day. I'd wake up like 5 a.m. I remember that. I'd wake up super early. As soon as the RPAC opened, I would always see the same old people every time.
Yeah.
Try to beat this one guy to my stairs every morning. I'd wake up and do like 45 minutes, go to the sauna for a little bit, and then go home, sleep, and wake up and have my first meal. I try to schedule my classes always around the gym, which is really weird. Like it always came gym, then classes.
Yeah, I was the same way.
Like it was always like that. But at night, so I would have all of my carbs for my first meal, and then post-workout meal. So pre and post-workout meal, I had all my carbs, and I actually didn't have any veggies all prep, because when I was with anabolic fasting, I got sick of veggies.
Yeah.
Dude, I just got sick of them. Like I'm never eating a veggie again. And yeah, I did that whole prep veggie list, just ton of cardio and Stairmaster every day.
Yeah.
I remember the hoodies. My hoodies would get
always with the hood up, like
hood up.
Seeing you like
dying
toward the
like,
end. Yeah. And I think that's like a good quick aside. Like you don't have to have vegetables to like get shredded and lose weight. Like yes, I would never say vegetables are bad. They provide a lot of value.
Yeah.
Not like with volume,
digestion. You know, the micros help, but I just got sick of them. I started having like, you know, I took probiotics, and like I took multivitamins. So I had my micros, but not to the same extent as like veggies. But yeah, I didn't notice a difference in my physique. Like I was shredded.
Yeah.
I ended up winning that show. Didn't win the overall, unfortunately. But I mean, I won my class, so
right.
That was a good time.
So what do you think I guess like my thought is you were able to really like put yourself, it's like what Jocko Willink says, like embrace the suck. Like you're able to do that.
Yeah.
And not everyone is, and that's okay. Like, you know, not everyone's gonna compete in bodybuilding, and they'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But like, how were you able to kind of like separate your short-term feelings for something that was gonna pay off long-term?
I envision myself holding a first place trophy.
Yeah.
Almost every time doing cardio. Yeah. I don't know what it was. Like when so I compete in men's physique, for those that don't know. And I always was under the impression like we got to pick our own song. You know, like classic and open.
It doesn't work that way?
No. We just step on stage and pose. I always thought we got to pick our own little song for our routine. So I would always have this song. I would envision myself every time posing to this song.
Mm-hmm.
And it just never happened. I never got to pose to the song, but I just envision myself every time. I'm like, I want this, you know, like I want to be on that Olympia stage one day. I want to get that pro card. Like that's all I tell myself the whole time, and I think that's what really just made me embrace it. Like I kind of gave a fair warning to like all my roommates, like please don't touch me or like talk to me. Like I will probably try to kill you.
Yeah. Yep.
But I'm like, guys, you just got to deal with me for the time being. I'm like, I'm gonna be very like short-tempered, but yeah, I think that's what it was. I just envisioned myself, you know, grabbing that first place trophy and like the lights shining on me, my hand up, and just people clapping. That's what. Yeah, and that's what. And you know, in that 2018 show that I did win, it was like holy crap.
Yeah, man.
Just came
It's cool
true.
to see it come to fruition. And
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. That's it's something that I always like to tell my clients is like just envision yourself and like the process becomes a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Of course, there's always going to be times where it sucks, but
There's
part of
definitely
the process.
they're definitely gonna have those days where like it's gonna suck. Like I remember a couple of times where I was doing, I think it was like 45 minutes of stairs, and I got like 30 minutes in, and I'm like, I felt so cold. I'm like, I need to stop. Like, I need to stop. And I did, and I'm just like, and I finished it on the bike, something much lower intensity, but like, those were moments I'm like, I'm gonna die. Like, I would, oh, dude, it was rough. I thought I was gonna pass out.
Yeah?
Yeah, people were like looking at me all weird. I'm like, I wonder what I look like.
Oh, man. I guess at that point I kind of stopped coming so early in the morning because, like you said earlier, sometimes you just get burnt out from doing things.
Yeah.
Like whether you're consuming vegetables all the time or waking up at 4 all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I got burnt out.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It was always just crazy to see. I was like, damn. Yeah, Sam's working hard.
Not a fun time, but
yeah,
it paid off.
Definitely, man. So, one thing I just noticed a couple minutes ago, you got your chain on.
Oh yeah, with Ghost. Yeah.
So I remember you were like hustling with Ghost before Ghost. Talk a little bit about that. What's that been like for you?
Dude, Ghost has been, they're a blessing. They're so much fun. So I joined Ghost in November of 2017.
How old were they back then?
6 months.
Yeah.
No, just over a year. They started in June 1st, 2016.
Gotcha.
I believe.
Yeah.
I believe. I could be wrong. But it's the owner's birthday, so it's like it's kind of cool.
Huh.
So yeah, they weren't very. But I started talking to them in January of 2017. So I started talking to them when they were 6 months, and I joined in November 2017. But it's been. I think that's why I've like just fallen in love with competing and like going everywhere, like San Diego. I think that's why, because like I went to the LA Fit Expo with them for 2 years. And it's been amazing to see that, like, just seeing all the family, like, Christian Guzman, Max Tuning, all those guys. It's just like, this is a family. Like, that's what I love about Ghost is like, they're not all about fitness. They're about the lifestyle. They're about the family. Like, they don't aim to be bodybuilders. Like, they aim to be lifestyle.
Yeah, because like even on the pre-workout bottle, it has like student, party, workout.
We have. That's what they do. And like at LA, they would party. They party. That's Ghost. They love to have fun. It's been a wild ride. I'm very thankful for the guy who's in charge. So I'm part of the takeover team. CJ, he's in charge of all of us. I mean, CJ is like my go-to guy for a lot of stuff. Like he used to be a performance coach. So like if I have questions on that type of stuff, he knows connections. So he's helped me with that a lot.
That's cool.
And he's also in charge of me with Ghosts. And so he's very, very family oriented. So like he's just been there for everyone, and he's always there for everyone if you need it. And it's more than just a brand; it's a company, it's a family. And I think that's my favorite thing with him. It's been a wild ride. And yeah, my buddy Carlos, he made like 7 of these, and we bought them from him. We want to support him, so we're like, yeah, dude, like
that's
send them.
Yeah, Sammy, what was it? Probably 2 or 3 years ago. You were just hustling it, man. Like going to every GNC in the Columbus area.
I still do that right now, but
yeah?
can't with the virus. So
okay.
Yeah, we're supposed to still do that, but yeah, it's a little postponed. But yeah, I went to everywhere in Ohio a couple times.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just dropping off samples so they could have stuff to help grow that brand. And like if you were out of pre-workout or whatever, I'd just be like, Sam, can I borrow some? Can I borrow some pre-workout?
Yeah, I'd always be willing to dish. Like I just gave a buddy of mine 2 scoops of the new Nutter Butter protein that we came out with.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And yeah, so I'm always wanting to help, especially if it helps the brand. Like it's always fun to see that. A lot of cool stuff coming here soon.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
man. They have some. Just like their flavors are really good. Like the ingredient profile is solid. That's cool that you were able to like help be a part of that, and then receive the benefit of like being part of that family too.
Yeah, like a thing with Ghost is like if you are a very advanced lifter and are a stimulant freak, Ghost probably won't get you the most. Like, it won't get you most hyped up.
Yeah.
On like you know, Redcon 1, like
Right.
Total War, I know that has a ton of stimulant in it. Ghost is like, you know, it's Ghost lifestyle.
Yeah.
So like they aim towards the lifestyle people do, you know, just want to go train. Like,
Right.
give one scoop. It's like 225 milligrams caffeine. Everything's pretty clinically dosed, so it's a very good profile, very transparent.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite thing. It's just how transparent they really are.
And I'm just gonna say it now. If you need 800 milligrams of caffeine to feel something in your life, you probably should just cycle off slowly for a little bit so you can be resensitized.
Taper a little bit.
Yeah.
I should probably taper some. I have a coffee, scoop pre-workout, Monster almost every day.
Classic. It's like a classic, like trainer, online coach.
Yeah, basically.
Like, you just gotta get through the day.
You need the
get your
caffeine.
workout.
I can still fall asleep usually, like right after Monster.
Yeah.
Just exhausted.
That's funny, man. So, one thing that came to my mind that I would like to discuss is like your training style. And I know you've worked with like a variety of coaches. You don't have to like give out super specific things if it's kind of like proprietary to them. But how has that evolved over the years?
So, it's interesting. And like I said, I work with Bryce, and that's the thing I like with Bryce. He lets me do my own. He overlooks everything, but he lets me style the way I like it. So, I used to do just a ton of reps, ton of volume, a ton. A lot of stuff, probably looking back at it, wasn't the best like supersets to have with one another. On leg days, I would do a ton of axial loaded, a lot of hip hinge stuff, and probably ended up hurting me more than it did, benefiting me.
Yeah.
But now, like, what I do is, I implement strength training in the very beginning of it to really, activate everything, recruit as much as I can,
Right.
as many fibers or units as we can, and then when everything's like, recruited, like, so I'll do a lot of stuff. Is say for a push day, for example, I'll do barbell incline bench, 5 sets of 5 to about 5 or 8 reps, and then same with I'll go to shoulder press movement, 5 sets of 5. And then from there, I will go to more, the hypertrophy stuff.
Right.
4 sets, 12, 15 reps.
Yeah.
10, 15, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
That's basically what I do now, and that's what I've done with a lot of my clients. Is like, some of them I've had mixtures. Like one of my clients, I used to have her do kind of my stuff, and then I do trial and error for almost every single one of them. When it comes to a new block, a new month, I'll do a whole different scheme. For her, it was like 8 sets of 8, but only like 4 or 5 different motions. And she responded so well to that.
Yeah.
She loved lifting heavy. She's trying to go to figure. Wellness. The wellness is a new division. It's
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that at all. Interesting.
It's kind of odd. It's like really big butts and really big quads.
Pull that up, Jamie. No.
Basically
I
what it
wish
is.
I had a Jamie. I'm not gonna pull it up. All right, yeah, keep going, Sam.
Basically, that's what it is. And then, she's responded so well to that. Like, she's developed such an X-frame. It's like, all right, this is how we're training from now on.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This is how we're gonna keep it.
Yeah.
So
I'm salty because I'm not connected to Wi-Fi right now.
uh,
But yeah, that's very interesting. I feel like some of those like different classifications, just so you can like get more people involved in the sport and keep it growing. That would be cool.
And there's so many females is like, in the sport, like there are a lot of them can't fit figure, or they're too big, too muscular for a bikini.
Yeah.
It's basically super muscular bikini. This is what I'm showing a picture of everything. It's like very big quad.
Jacked.
Yeah, they're huge, but they're not like figure big. It's not like very,
like those, like when you go to the Arnold and you see like which one is the divisions where you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's like you see Phil Heath with long hair. That's what you see, but you don't see that with wellness. You're like, damn, this girl's really fit, and she's got a big butt. That's basically what you see.
Thank you, wellness division.
Yeah, thank you, wellness. I'm gonna be a fan of that division next 3 years as it develops more. It's but yeah, dude, myself training used to be like, all just like from high school. I would just be ego,
Oh yeah,
ego reps. And then I went to, got some little background here and there. I just kind of did my own thing. A lot of reps is what I always thought. Just ton of reps out till failure. Failure has its place in time. There's some coaches out there like, you have to do failure and everything. I disagree with some of that. Like, I don't think someone should do failure on a squat. I think it's very unsafe.
Your back.
Yeah, like if you turn into a good morning, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Or on like a leg press, you relatively get the same stimulus, but it's a much safer movement. You can just, it can be scary if it comes too far, but relatively there are bumpers on each side, so you can set them to where you can fail.
Yeah.
Rather than a squat where you're just gonna die.
Right.
But yeah, so that's pretty much how everything's trained. I like a lot of strength training in the beginning, and then we go into hypertrophy stuff.
Right. Yeah, I like it, man. Kind of like backing that. I think it's like a good strategy to structure your training that way for anyone that's listening and kind of unsure of how to program. There's a couple different muscle fiber types, but by doing the heavier, more toward like the strength rep ranges, you're able to recruit those type 2 fibers. And then with the, hypertrophy style, 8 to 20 reps, you're recruiting, some type 2, but also type 1. And so for, a well-balanced physique, which is, the goal, that's I think that's a great way to go about it.
Yeah, you have to do both. And like, they both have their place, obviously, and it's going to be beneficial. There's some stuff like I wish I was better at, like, deloads, for example. I'm not too familiar. Like I'm getting better. Like obviously I'm still learning. I'm always going to forever learn. So deloads, I'm still learning how to really program them well.
Yeah.
And everyone, including myself, is so stubborn that we don't want to take a deload.
Yeah.
I hate deloads. Like,
yeah.
I know it's going to progress. And that was one thing. Like looking back at this quarantine, I'm like, so many people are going to progress.
Oh yeah.
Because it's basically they're all deloading right now.
It's gonna. Like, I hope people can take that away.
Yeah. Another thing, I think that one of the biggest things that if people didn't do this over quarantine, they cheated themselves. Like, a lot of people have mastered the movements, but they haven't mastered the muscles. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It's like people know how to do lat pull downs, but do they really know how to engage the lats?
Right. And by using the bands and lighter weights and stuff, they're able to
you
actually
have
understand.
you have to have the
certain
motion
muscles.
and the true mind muscle connection in order to work the muscle and get that complete stimulus. So I think especially with lats. Like, I've definitely probably messed up on lat pull downs before, without a doubt. Like, I've never been perfect, but during this quarantine, I've definitely been able to provide a lot of stimulants and learn how to master the true muscle movement itself.
Yeah.
Rather than just the actual movement of the exercise.
Right. Yeah, man. That's a great point. Getting back to the deloads, man, it's tough, like you said. So after I did a powerlifting meet the first weekend of December, and then all the rest of the year, and then into 2020, I worked with the coach, of course, or I never would have done this.
Yeah.
So shout out to Zach Goldman, you're the man. But he had me do no barbells, in also just very low intensity, and then of course we increased the intensity with no barbells. Eventually introduced barbells again.
Yeah.
But just to allow my spine to kind of I guess heal a little bit. Because if you do something like powerlifting meet, you're trying to push as much as you can.
Your nervous system's going to be wrecked.
Yeah. So, and it applies to bodybuilding too.
Absolutely.
Sometimes your body just needs a little bit of time to recuperate, and it's kind of like a slingshot effect. Like you're gonna progress way more with the deload than if you didn't take one. Even though there is that mental aspect of getting around it.
Even Olympic lifting. There's all core exercise, very spine, the spinal exercises, like power clean snatches. I bet a lot of people benefit from deloads with that. And it's very stubborn to do a deload, but it's also very important to, know when to do a deload.
Yeah.
Which is, right now, I don't know when. That's the thing. Sometimes I'll have a really good week. I'm like, damn. And then the following week, I'm just I don't know. Should I take a deload? But
yeah, that's still I don't think they truly know the answer to that. With so much in this field, they don't know yet.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you follow the Renaissance periodization, this guy Mike Israel, Dr. Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him program macro cycles where at the end of each mesocycle, at the end of each month, he'll take a week to deload. And I kind of have been implementing that as well. I don't do like a major deload, but like cut the volume a little bit, cut the intensity by half. And like I feel, one, better, two, more importantly, more motivated to get into it the next week.
That's what we've been. So actually, that's what we do.
Yeah.
I've learned, as I've worked along with Bryce and I've studied with the CSCS. For those of you who don't know, my boss, I'm a programmer. Bryce is like my boss. He's the
It's Bryce Calvin. That's his
Bryce
name?
Calvin.
Yeah, super smart guy. Like,
Yeah, extremely intelligent.
taught me a lot.
Progressive performance is like our brand. But yeah, that's what we've been doing. Is like I've learned that type of programming. Is like for one of my clients. So say someone buys a program, which is just like a 4-week program. We will do a deload. We'll put 4 weeks in of pure progression, and then at the end of that, we'll just do a deload. We'll just
free week.
Free week. Yeah, it's literally a free week.
Yeah. That's cool.
Typically, though, they sometimes will just kind of do another month, and then they sometimes don't need deload. But we throw it in as an option if they really need it, and it really helps a lot of people. So yeah, I've learned the Renaissance.
Periodization.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, brain fart.
Yeah. There's that it brings me to two more points. I know you've worked with like coaches yourself in the past, so I wrote a blog about it like a year ago. Like I think everyone should work with a coach at one point because you're gonna expand one, just like the things that you would do. Like I would have never tried some of these things and I got like great feedback and response from my body. But yeah, like how's that process been with you over the years?
I have worked. So I've surrounded myself with coaches. Justin Mahaley. I've asked him a ton of questions. Mark Tominek. I'm not sure if you're familiar with who he is.
I don't think I've seen him.
His like Instagram's like the Megatron.
Okay.
Super brilliant guy. And then there's Bryce and Dylan, and then another one of my friends is Nick Comodina. The thing about them, they all have different approaches, and that's why I love working with so many different coaches. And like it's like a round circle of coaches.
Yeah.
It's like a round table. Sorry, round table of coaches, and like you learn so many different aspects of how they coach, and then you can apply it to your own. Certain bits and pieces of each, and you can find out what works for you, what doesn't work for you. It's like, or your clients, and I think that's what's really benefited me the most. Is like I've learned a ton of nutrition through Dylan, and learning from him, it's like kind of made me do my own research.
Yeah.
It made me do my own type of stuff. So I'm very thankful for that because Dylan's been my main coach for years. He's like one of my best of friends. He's been my main coach. He's prepped me for 2 of my shows for 2 years. I've only been, this is going to be I'm not competing this year, so next year will be like my 4th season competing. Because the first ever show I did was by myself. It looked like that trash. I was like that little guy wearing orange shorts on stage.
Yeah, man, I remember that. You were so small. Like, I'm not even trying to
lost all muscle.
You were so small.
Oh, dude, I had no idea what I was doing. But it made me fall in love with everything. But
yeah.
Surrounding myself with all those coaches has really shaped me to become a better coach, and it's going to make me be even a better coach in the next month.
Yeah.
Whenever.
For sure. Yeah. Talk about like someone I don't know Dylan personally, but like I see like all over Instagram and stuff. Like,
he's killing it.
Wildly successful.
He's killing it.
So yeah, guys, if you haven't heard that one before, surround yourselves with like-minded, high-achieving people, and who knows, you might just learn something like Sammy did over here.
Yeah, like literally make your mentors your friends. Like even if you have to pay them to literally just hang with them. Like literally, like, can I pay you $500 to hang with you and just pick your brain? I would do that.
Yeah.
There's a couple guys, like Brett Contreras. I think that's how you pronounce it. You know, the glute guy. The glute guy. Like that dude's so brilliant. And look what he's got 1 million followers now. I would love to pick his brain.
Oh yeah.
There's just so many people out there. I would love to pick their brain and just learn from them. A lot of performance coaches too. I've been trying to talk to. There's one in Arizona State. Their Instagram's Elite U. He's a performance coach. He works with Debo Samuel, like a lot of NFL guys. A couple guys. JK, no, it doesn't work with JK. Running back before JK.
Matt Weber?
No. another dude. But yeah.
What Ohio State fan are
I
you?
know.
Zeke?
No, after Zeke, before they're in between.
Yeah.
With Weber. Fast guy.
We're editing this
Anyway.
out. No, I was.
But I've been trying to pick their brains, just learning from them. Like they do a lot of velocity training, a lot. Like I see them on a chest press machine, like boom, 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 like just repping. I'm like, what is this doing? So I'm like, I understand that's probably like trying to increase the force output, but like, why is that better than just control and like really try? And he's like. And he explained everything. I'm like, cool, like that's sweet. Like now I know. Yeah. So that's what I've been trying to do, is just surrounding myself with people. If I have a question, I'm not afraid to ask. Yeah. That's another thing. Don't be afraid to ask, and definitely do not be afraid to be wrong. Being wrong is the biggest teacher in life. Without a doubt.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like you said, like most of the time, depending on the person, they'll try to help you out and answer your question. Yeah. Like I definitely would to anyone.
As long as you don't come off as like mean or like you're know-it-all, just be cool, be a normal human and ask questions. Don't be afraid to be wrong. People are 9 times out of 10 are going to be willing to help.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like
it. He's stuck.
No, I had like 2 points in mind, but it's all good. So yeah, I think we like talked a lot about like the nutrition, mindset, and training things. Sam, do you have any other advice to like people, just like super general advice, people looking to get fit?
Looking to get fit, like do it for you and nobody else. That's one thing. Do it for you. Like there's one thing, this could come off as wrong, but like obviously body acceptance is really cool and all, like, but at the same time, you'll never be able to find someone who is confident in their body be unconfident somewhere else. Being confident in your own body radiates. It is so radiant to every aspect. Like you're gonna walk like you're confident. You're gonna talk like you're confident. Your job is gonna get better. You're gonna be more productive. Like someone who's is confident with themselves is gonna be confident in everything they do. Yeah. So like just do it for you, and it's gonna pay off. Like that's one huge thing. Oh yeah. Do it for you.
Definitely, man. Yeah. Just like we mentioned earlier, like the spillover into other aspects of life, it's the biggest benefit of fitness. Not even like, health wise, it's super important, but just like the benefit that you'll see by investing in yourself is tremendous.
Yeah, like I'll get a little college story here. So I went to school at a very small school, Marietta College. It was like private school, glorified high school. Transferred to Ohio State after like my first year, maybe first semester, I had a 1.7 GPA. Terrible. Academic probation. That's when I really first started getting into bodybuilding. So I started disciplining my mind. I started applying myself in bodybuilding, which made me apply myself in school. So, and I graduated 0.04 away from honors. So like I grinded and I applied myself, and I think I truly owe it to bodybuilding and fitness, because as I got more confident in myself and my work ethic improved, I took the vector of training and applied it to school. Yeah. And I ended college on a really good note, and I loved it. Like, I started off as miserable, stressed, didn't want to go to class, because I just like, what's the point if I'm going to fail anyways, Right. But now after I applied myself through fitness, it's just like it improved every aspect.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I'm like a witness to that, because like I could tell like before you switched your major probably.
Yeah, you microbiome.
Yeah, you weren't really in it. Like you were kind of just like, I don't know, man. Yeah. Which is like understandable if you're doing something you're not passionate about. Yeah. But like finding that passion and then applying the things that you're doing in the gym over to that, I could tell like it was just a whole different level.
Oh, it was crazy. Yeah. Like, to look back at it, it's like, wow, I can't believe I like dug myself in that much of a hole.
Yeah, it happens though.
Yeah, it like I said, like failure, being wrong is a good learning experience, and I was wrong with what I wanted to do, and I found out what I loved. So,
hell yeah, man. Yeah. Well, in closing, I always like to ask people, what's like one go-to learning source that you're a fan of? Something that it could be like a person, an account on social media, a source. Like, what would that be for you?
One shout out Nick Comadina. He like people. That's my biggest source of learning, I think. Because they'll lead me to maybe a website. They'll maybe lead me to a book. They'll forward me notes or something. But like people, that's my biggest thing. I ask well-rounded people a lot of questions, and I soak up that information and I apply it.
Yeah.
That's always been my biggest. That's definitely my biggest learning.
Definitely, man. Yeah, and I think for those of you listening, it doesn't have to be, some crazy account on Instagram that has a million followers. It could just be someone that you respect and look to as someone who's like tried hard to learn throughout their life. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I